Ladies and gentlemen, there is a clear difference between being supportive of your friends and your family and having someone toxic in your life who expects you to dim your light in order to accommodate their insecurities. Someone who is triggered by you in some way or something about you, and they want you to tone it down. This is something that needs to be talked about so that you are not just accepting any type of negativity, toxicity, or bullying into your life. Without further ado, let's get started. My name is Charisse. Welcome to my channel, Gracefully Charisse. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I had to talk about this because sometimes we can have people in our lives that are really toxic, and they tend to take their insecurities out on other people. Perhaps there's something about you or just your presence, you in general, that might trigger their insecurities. So they might say things to you, expecting you to dim your light and tone it down some so that they can feel better about themselves. They might try to put you down and bring you down in order for them to feel uplifted themselves. And it's really toxic, but there are people who do this. So I will get all into it. The thing is, I don't like mentioning problems and issues without offering solutions. In this case, I wanted to talk about things that are non-toxic, and that's simply just being supportive out of the kindness of your heart, but we need to know the difference. So I'm going to give you a few scenarios, a few personal experiences, as well as things that I've observed. And then I'm going to be sharing with you all some things that I feel, I don't know everything now, okay? But I feel are non-toxic and just, healthy to do in friendships and in our family relationships or familial relationships. So let's get started. So for this first scenario, I once had somebody in my life, they're in my life for years. I once held them really closely to me, and over the years, I started seeing toxicity in that connection with them. So this person is narcissistic, and I have mentioned them in like other videos before. So one thing that this person would do, this narcissistic person, is sometimes when I would do something that I was proud of, say, because I love to sing. So if I sang a note and it came out really well, I say that humbly, or if I was excited about something, they, for whatever reason, they would start mocking me. They would mimic me. They would make this, please excuse me for saying this, but this dumb face where they would cross their eyes and they would like do their head like this and just mimic like whatever it is that I'm saying, or they would just mimic my excitement. And I would think to myself, why are you doing that? Like, I'm just having a moment here. I'm just like being happy. I'm excited. They would mock me, they would make fun of me. And it got to the point where I just found myself not wanting to be very excited around them. I did not want to express happiness and excitement and cheerfulness and joy, because it doesn't matter. Sometimes, even if you're a very confident person, and I am a confident person, you're human though, and sometimes you just don't feel like dealing with such toxicity of somebody who is trying to bring down your moment, somebody who is trying to make you feel bad or make you feel like you're being ridiculous about simply being excited and happy. So sometimes people can be triggered by your happiness. In fact, there was a moment where we were all in the same place. It was me, someone else who they are definitely envious of. And when I talk about jealousy and envy, please know that I don't think that everyone's jealous or envious of me. A lot of evidence, and they've even verbally expressed jealousy to me one time. But I've seen them look at this other person that I was with, just up and down, looking at their figure, just anger in their face. And they have been mean to them as well. They're just a very insecure person. And so me and this other person were talking and we're laughing and we're having just a grand old time, just a good time. And this person literally gets mad and says, okay, let's go. It's like our happiness, it's like it triggered some type of anxiety in them. And it wasn't anxiety, it was just anger. I can't even say anxiety. Maybe, could be, because maybe that triggered something within them that made them feel angry because how come I can't be happy like that? How come I can't be joyful like that? There were really people who will get mad because you're able to express joy and happiness and just emotions in general. And if they are, I guess I can say, emotionally bankrupt, or if they are emotionally unavailable or emotionally immature, or if they're dealing with traumas, or they're just miserable with life and unhappy, sometimes they can't express those emotions. So seeing you happy feels like it kind of, it rubs it in for them. But the thing is, please understand this, that is not your fault. That is not on you. You are not responsible for somebody else's emotions. They are responsible for their own reactions and lack thereof. So I have to make that clear as well. I just really have to make that clear. Here's the thing. At this point in my life, and this has been me for a while, I don't care. Like, I'm empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate toward them. And I understand that people are the way they are for a reason, but I also understand that there is a difference between reasons and excuses. And I could sympathize again and empathize and feel bad that this is how you are. And I understand that that is your reason, but it will never excuse mistreating other people or trying to bring people down. So I don't care what they have to say. That's what I meant with that. I don't care. I don't care if they want to mimic me, they want to mock me. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be joyful. I'm not going to do it vindictively. I'm not going to rub my happiness or my joy in their face. But what I did learn is sometimes, not in the light of like dimming your light, but I've just learned not to share my excitement with them. And they're no longer in my life anyways, but if I have to be around them for whatever reason, I've learned I'm no longer sharing anything personal with you. I'm no longer going to share special moments with you. I'm no longer going to share my excitement with you. But if I happen to be around you and something exciting happens, I'm not going to hold back because you feel insecure, or because you're feeling envious or jealous, or because you dislike me and I didn't do anything to you. So that was scenario one. And I hope somebody else out there knows, like, don't dim that light, that joy, just because somebody else is absolutely miserable. Don't rub things in their face. But I mean, you shouldn't have to hold back and just be like this when you should be like this because something exciting happened, because somebody proposed to you, because you got that job, you got that car, or because you got into that school, or because the person that you're in love with said that they love you too. It's okay to celebrate. Of course, be humble, but it's okay to celebrate. So another thing that this person would do is they didn't really like to see me succeed or to elevate in life unless it benefited them. For those of you who have dealt with narcissists, you know that this is very common. And there was something that I created and that I had started selling. Very new to the situation, and I wanted to share my creations. So I didn't do very well. However, I didn't consider it as a failure. I considered it as an opportunity for me to learn. It was a learning experience. It happens, okay? And I can improve and do better. However, they seen it as a fail for me, which was a success for them. So what they did is they were just like, how many sales did you get again? Wait, how many? Like, and I was like, why does it matter? I'm just grateful that I'm able to get my work out there. I'm just grateful for the experience. But how many sales did you get again? Because I think it's important that you write it down so that you'll know. And it was just this look on their face. I just knew that what they were doing was trying to rub it in, but it wasn't working. So here's the thing. When trying to put you down or manipulate you into feeling bad about something, when those things don't work, what they will do is they will try, some of them, not everybody, but some people, especially narcissists, they will just try to simply sabotage you. Because if I can't get you to dim your light, like straightforwardly, I'm going to do it sneakily. So, in short, this person has hid my mail, important mail. I also have reason to believe that because they had access to my face products, that they were putting something in my face products so that I would break out. And as soon as I started hiding my things, so evil. This was over a course of a couple years. I'm not going to say how, but they did have access to my face products. God has ways of letting us know things, okay? Let me just say that. And I started hiding my things. As soon as I started hiding my face products, I did nothing different about my routine or about my hygiene. Everything was the same. I'm very hygienic. I don't even touch my face unless my hands are super clean. So as soon as I started hiding my things, instantly, just like that, my face, it stopped breaking out. The breakouts stopped. Absolutely stopped. And when I brought it up to them, instead of being like, wait, what, why would you think I would do that? Like, that's how I would respond. Like, wait, why would you think I would do that? Like, I love you. I care about you. They got really defensive and they started yelling at me and trying to make me feel like I was nothing. And they kept emphasizing the word nothing over and over and over again. I did catch them though when I was trying to lock my stuff up. I turned around because they were present that day. And they had this evil grin on their face and they started laughing. They chuckled to themselves. So I can put two and two together. I had to share that because when they can't get you to dim your light, some of these people will go great lengths to dim your light for you. At least try. One last thing that I will say that has happened to me because of somebody's envy regarding my physical appearance and my hair. I'm not going to go into it, but what I will say is I went to sleep. Maybe I didn't just go to sleep, but I woke up and I was almost bald. This is why for the longest time I was wearing wigs. And funny thing about it is my hair grew back and longer than it was before my hair was mysteriously removed from me. That's just how God works. Just have to say that. And it's healthier. I do have some pieces in, but some of what you're seeing is my hair, is my natural hair. So yeah, be very careful because some of these people can be very, very evil. And when they seen my hair grew back and longer than it was before, oh, the evil, angry look on their face that I just turned one day and I caught them. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, there's that some of those scenarios that I wanted to talk about when it comes to people wanting to dim your light because of who you are, and even with how you look, and them trying to sabotage you if nothing else works. Just going to evil lengths. Okay, so this next scenario involves a friend group that I used to have. I've had a few friend groups, but a friend group that I used to have back in the day, in my teenage years. We had some good times, but the thing was, there was still like toxicity involved in this friendship, this friend group. And there was a friend who was a bit feisty, and the thing is, just like a lot of teenage girls who like to get dressed up and have fun, we would be planning what we were going to do. There would be conversations like, what are you going to wear? I don't know what to wear. I know what I'm going to wear. And we would be ready to go to the parties, to the kickbacks, to the teen clubs. Yes, we had teen clubs. That's a whole other story. But everything would be fine. That's the point. Everything would be fine. But whenever we would get together, we would all go to like one person's house. Something that I noticed is that this friend was happy and excited and looking forward to going until she seen us and she didn't feel as attractive. Now, in hindsight, what I realize is this. I truly believe that she wanted to be the cute one or the cutest one in the group. And if not that, she definitely didn't want to be seen as the less attractive one. Now, here's the thing about that. It shouldn't even be that in friendships. I'm just letting you know the mindset that she appeared to have. There should be no competition. I've had friend groups where it's just like, oh, you look really cute. You look nice. You have beautiful hair. You're so pretty. I like your outfit. Like, you really know how to sing. Like, we would compliment each other. You're really funny. You're really smart. We would compliment each other. And it should never, ever be a competition. You shouldn't be looking at each other like, she looks prettier than me today. Or I look the best today. I'm the main character. Like, it shouldn't be like that, And so I noticed that she would get an attitude when she felt like this. all of a sudden she would have this bad attitude. And if you were the one to allow her to do it, she would literally cuss at you. And here's the first thing. She would do one of three things, if not all of them. First thing she would do is she would try to shame you. She would try to shame you about being dressed up. I'm not going to copy her exactly because I don't want to expose her. That's not the point. But basically it would be like this, why are you all dressed up for kind of thing? Like, why are you so dressed up? Why are you dressed up? We're only going over here. Oh, you just want to show off kind of thing, you know. And then she would kind of gaslight you in her own special way, because she would say it angrily, like, why are you all dressed up? But she would gaslight you and kind of pretend like she was joking. And other times there would be conviction and she would realize that was a bit harsh. And then she would be like, oh, I'm sorry. But here's the thing. She would apologize, but still continue the behavior. And there's that saying that apology without change, it's manipulation, or it's just a really bad habit that you should really think about and evaluate whether or not you want to have in your personal life. And somebody being feisty toward you and shaming you for just simply wanting to be a little extra dolled up that day, I don't know about you, but personally, I don't want that in my life. There's things that I'm willing to accept, and that's not one of them, because you're not going to shame me for just wanting to take care of myself or simply just wanting to be more dolled up. You're not going to do that. So that's one thing she would do. She would try to shame you. And there would be like an argument between her and that other girl, because the main one, like one of the ones that I'm talking about right now, there was one that was not a pushover, and she would argue back, but I could tell that it still like hurt her. She'd be like, why are you talking to me like that? You know, that's the thing. Sometimes we accept toxicity from people because we care about them, we love them, or because of the title that they have in our lives. This is my best friend. And we dismiss their toxicity, their toxic behavior, because of who they are or because of how we feel, when we shouldn't do that. Sometimes we're just like, oh, that's just them. They'll get over it. Oh, they just have an attitude. That's just how they are. Stop doing that. You're coddling them. You're feeding the beast. You're feeding the monster. You're allowing them to mistreat you. And sometimes people will only do as much as you allow them to do. And that's not to victim blame. It's just the truth. Some people, if they know they can get away with it because you're not standing up for yourself, or you're just not just putting your foot down and being like, hey, I'm not accepting this. And I mean, like, don't just argue back and forth. Just tell them, I'm not accepting this in my life. I'm not going to argue with you. You're not going to shame me because of something that I'm doing that is harmless to you and to anybody else, which that's what we're not going to do. And if this doesn't change, we can't be friends. Okay, so that's the first thing she would do. She would shame you. The second thing she would do, if she felt like she didn't look as good as you or better than you, what she would do is she would now play the damsel in distress, and she would be manipulative. So she'd be like, I don't have anything to wear. You guys can just go without me. So it was almost like, if I'm not going because I can't upstage you guys or look just as good as you guys, then you guys are not going to go. She would try to, like, you know, let's just not go. Let's just stay in. Like, she'll like suggest that we all stay in. Or she would get mad, like, if we would be like, you look nice. Like, what are you talking about? You look nice. Oh, da, da, da. She'll like start getting mad. She'll cuss. She'll raise her voice. And we're like, there's literally nothing wrong with what you have on, you know. So that's another thing she would do. She would literally try to play the damsel in distress and try to get us to feel sorry for her so that we won't go, or so at least we will like really try to convince her to go. And 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, she would end up going, which leads me to my last point regarding this friend group. The last thing she would do, she would, if we did go, she would kind of disrupt our fun. I'll put it that way. She will disrupt our fun. So she would typically complain. Sometimes she had a bad attitude. And then sometimes she'll snap out of the complaining and the bad attitude, like verbally at first. But then she would use us as human shields. And it was unbeknownst to us. We didn't even know. So we'd be like at a house party or something, or at a teen club. And we'd just like be like hanging out, you know, just in the crowd. So as soon as we were ready to like move, whether we were sitting or standing, we just wanted to go to another side of the building. As soon as we were about to go, all of a sudden we'd feel her tugging on us. Like, no, where are you going? We're going over there. And then she'd kind of be like, no, don't just leave me here looking dumb, looking like, well, why don't you just come with us? And she would say, like, you're going to leave me here. I'm going to look like a loner. There she goes, using foul language again. And then we were just like, no, like, come on. At first, we would feel sorry for her. And again, there goes that dismissing of the toxic behaviors because she's our best friend. And we felt bad for her. But after a while, we realized that, you know what, this is not fair to us. We came here to have fun too. Like, you should have stayed home. If you were going to behave like this, if you were that uncomfortable, you should have just stayed home. You know, just instead of coming with us and taking the fun from us and expecting us to just stay hidden with you, or instead of you, again, unbeknownst to us, using us as like human shields so that nobody sees you. And so after a while, she snapped out of it because she knew that it wasn't working. We were still going to have a good time. We're about to rotate around the room. We're going to move around, okay? we're going to move, and we're going to go, and we're going to dance, and we're going to have fun, because that's what we came here to do, okay? So those are 3 things that she would do. And if you have somebody in your life that's just like, kind of like, tone it down, like, why are you all dressed up for? No. Feel free to dress up as extravagantly as you want to. Be extra if you want to. I go to the grocery store dressed up kind of fancy sometimes because I love to. I'm just really nurturing my femininity, and that's what I want to do. I want to wear my wedges because I'm not really good at regular heels. I want to wear my wedge heels, and I want to look cute. I want to have my makeup done sometimes. Sometimes I'm plain Jane. Sometimes I'm really dressed up. And that's not hurting anybody, so there should be no complaints about that. So yeah, don't let anybody talk to you any kind of way. And another thing I want to say about this is, even if they're not talking to you any kind of way, if you have a friend that's talking to somebody else or to other people in the group, like, unkindly, that's still not right. If you're just watching it happen, perhaps talk to that friend that's being mean, or talk to the friend or the friends that are receiving that, and let them know, like, you don't have to allow somebody to talk to you like that. I strongly would suggest that you reevaluate your friendship, to be honest. And I personally would not stay in a friendship where somebody is talking unkindly to me or to somebody else. I've learned my lesson from that. It's not fun. It gets really stressful. It gets frustrating. The fun and the good times and the celebrations are just spoiled, and it's just not right. Your friends should be loving and respectful toward you, and they should be able to speak to you respectfully without yelling at you or using foul language, and they should not be taking their insecurities out on you. So I have to say that. And one last thing, always pay attention to how someone treats other people, because it's a good indicator of how they will treat you. And yes, by the way, at the end of the friendship, they tried, and I wasn't doing it. So that's one of the reasons why the friendship is non-existent. I have nothing against them. And by the way, I wish everyone well. I have nothing against any of these people. I have a forgiving heart, but I believe that story should be told, because we're in this life together, and we can help each other out without actually being messy or gossipy about it. And last but not least, I want to focus on intelligence really quick. Really, really quick. I had an ex-boyfriend who, he did not like the fact that I have a pretty extensive vocabulary. Sometimes I'm really laid back with my vocabulary. Sometimes the big words just come out. It's just part of who I am. I love words. And when I find new words that I'm like, ooh, that feels good, I try to store it in my memory bank, or I'll even make note of it. I'll take note of it. So one day, me and this ex-boyfriend, we were just hanging out outside, and I can't remember the word that I used, but I used a big word. And he actually got mad, and he was just like, those big words. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I told you about those big words. I don't understand them. Now, I don't do attitudes. I don't do control. That's not who I am. As a Christian, I do believe in submitting to my husband, but that doesn't mean to be controlled by him. That just simply means you allow that man to lead the household while he is led by the Lord. That's all that means. We both have important roles. We are equals, we partner together. But what I will not accept is someone asking me, or in this case, trying to bully me into reducing my vocabulary, or into dimming my intelligence in order for them to feel better. A better approach would have been like, you know what, I'm sorry, this is embarrassing, but I don't understand that word. Can you explain what that means to me? And I definitely would have done that with no problem. I would not have looked at him like, he's not very smart. Like, I wouldn't have done that, because we all have different levels of education, different levels of intelligence, wisdom, smarts, and that's okay. We all grow at different paces in this life, but that's how we learn and we grow. In relationships, we're supposed to learn from each other, teach each other, grow together. But what we're not going to do is ask somebody to, again, reduce their intelligence in any way or dim their light because perhaps we don't have like the same wisdom or knowledge or understanding or intelligence. This is like, that's something that should never happen in a relationship. And so, of course, that relationship ended for a reason, multiple reasons. And again, I have nothing against him. But of course, I did not stop being myself and using my vocabulary, because no one likes, if somebody really cares about you, they're not going to ask you to do that. And in fact, they're going to admire you for it, and they're going to want to learn from you. That's like the last scenario that I'm going to share. And let's talk about what is healthy, non-toxic. So, solutions, healthy actions. And I'm calling these non-toxic and healthy because in these scenarios, you are reasonably doing things and offering special things and making special changes out of the kindness of your heart, simply to support a friend or a family member. And you're not being bullied into making changes. You're not being manipulated into making changes. You're not being sabotaged. You're not having somebody mistreat you in order for them to get what they want from you. And in this case, that is for you to dim your light so that you will stop triggering their insecurities. I'm just going to give examples. These are not like real life examples, but they are good examples of what I, in my humble opinion, would consider as healthy behaviors. So, insecurities are normal, something that's very common, okay? Even if you're not an insecure person, sometimes you can have insecure moments. So I totally understand that. And sometimes our friends do need us. They need our support. They need our love. They need our help. They need our demonstrations of love, rather. So one of the first things that you can do is uplift, encourage. So let's just say your friend, for whatever reason, they're not feeling it that day. They don't like how they look. You guys are about to go out to eat. For whatever reason, it's just one of those days. I think a lot of us have those days where we're just like, or perhaps you don't like what you're wearing, or maybe you were going through something and you're just not feeling it. The first thing you can do is, and in all honesty, of course, compliment them. Tell them like, hey, like your hair looks nice, or or you got this. You can get on this stage and you can give that speech. You can recite that poem. You have this. Encourage them, uplift them, because sometimes all somebody needs is uplifting. Perhaps you can share a story with them or something with them that can be edifying for them, that can help them to grow, or just motivate them. So that's the first thing you can do. Uplift them, because sometimes that's all a person needs. So the second thing you can do is offer a solution. Help them to solve the problem solve. So again, let's just stay on the very light topic of, hey, I have nothing to wear, and you're about to go somewhere special. And, they really want to go, you really want them to go. So what you can do is do this. You know what? Hey, if you don't mind, can we go through your closet? And hopefully I can help you to find something, to wear, something that you can feel more confident in, or something that would be very flattering for you. Like, I would love to help. And if they say yes, then help them. That's something that's healthy. That's something that's not toxic. They're not trying to bully you into not going because they don't want to go. They're not trying to make you feel bad and guilt trip you so that you'll let them borrow those shoes that they like. So yes, problem solve, offer a solution. A third thing that you can do is meet them where they are. Meet them where they are, work with them. So again, let's keep it light. And perhaps you guys were invited to like a beach party or a pool party, if people still have those. And maybe you have a bathing suit, but they don't have a bathing suit. They wanted to just go along and they think it's fun to like go along with the theme. Everybody's gonna have bathing suits on, but they don't have one. So now they're like, I don't have a bathing suit, so you know what? Go ahead and go without me. Here's something that you can do. What you can do is say, I have a really nice sundress, and I know that you have a really nice sundress. You know what? Let's do this together. We both can just be there and not have bathing suits, but we can both look awesome and we can sit poolside and just dangle our feet in the pool. Or or you can be like, you know what? If you have some shorts and a tank top, I have some shorts and a tank top too, and we can just look cute rocking our shorts and tank tops together. I think that's something that's really nice that you can do. Just kind of meet them where they are. And it's not that you're dimming your light, you're just helping them to feel more comfortable, and you're having fun while doing it. And lastly, if this is something that is reasonable, well, sometimes make a change of plans. Yeah, just make a change of plans in order to be there for your friend. Now, we all go through things in life, and perhaps your friend, they were excited, you're all excited about going somewhere, but something is going on in their lives that has them really blue, really down, really melancholy, and they're not feeling it. Maybe they're dealing with depression. Maybe they're just really sad. And sometimes it's not about trying to convince them to go by encouraging them. Sometimes, no, you guys need to stay in. Awareness is really important. Learn kind of how to read people's emotions even when they are not verbally telling you what's going on. Sometimes it's kind of like, uh-oh, no, this is more serious and we have to change plans. So what you can do is this, is you can just be compassionate, be loving, be understanding. Even if you don't understand what they're going through, you can at least sympathize with them and offer them a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen, okay? Or words of encouragement. Sometimes simply just listening is enough. Even if sometimes you don't even have to say a word, just listen. And what you can say is like, hey, we don't have to go. We can do something else, or maybe we can go somewhere that's more secluded, more private, or we can just stay in. And this is going to sound so cliche, but you could say, you know what? Change of plans. Let's order pizza. Let's get some snacks. Let's get some movies. Let me make a run to the store. Let me bring some snacks. What do you want? And I will bring it. And let's just have a girls' night in or a guys' night in. Let's play video games or whatever it is, let's just, or talk about it. Perhaps, do you want to invite the girls or the boys so we can just have a time in instead of going out? Because I understand you don't want to go out. You don't want to get dressed. And either way, sometimes they'll want the crew to come over or the girls to come over. And other times they might just want it to be just you two. But in situations like this, they will really appreciate that you took the time to, cancel plans and not do something that was going to be fun, or, just to be there for them and to support them and, love on them as a friend or family member. So I believe that is healthy. If it's something that's really reasonable, okay, so which leads me to the next and last portion of this. Okay, so I have to make this clear. Friendships go both ways, right? And sometimes you are going to have to learn how to say, no, I'm sorry, but I can't this time. I love you, I care, but I can't. Because sometimes there are things that you just can't skip out on or you can't cancel. Sometimes it's a travel plan. Sometimes you've spent a lot of money and, you just have to go. And it's not just about money. Again, if it's something that is not reasonable, you have to do it. Or if it's like a wedding you were invited to or some other really important special occasion, sometimes you're going to have to say no. And you're going to have to learn how to not feel guilty about doing what's best or for doing what's right. Also remember that your own peace and happiness matter as well. Do not lose yourself in other people. The people who truly love you and care about you, they will understand that you need to have a life as well and that your happiness matters too. The thing is, if you always cancel things and you always make changes, there comes a point, and there's a line, there's a point where you are feeding the monster of insecurity. Sometimes you start to coddle them, and sometimes we start to spoil each other. We start to spoil our friends, or we're allowing them to get comfortable and always sulking, And there's some times where you're just going to have to say, I can't. No, we can't do this. I have to go. Or, you're going to have to be real with them and be like, you know what? You can do this. I don't want to let you do this just because so-and-so is going to be there or because somebody said something mean to you. That's where tough love comes in. And when I say tough, I don't mean abusive. I don't mean bullying. You're going to have to let them know, no, you can do this. Just because so-and-so said this and that about you, that doesn't mean that you should allow them to keep you from living your life. Now, you can't force them, but I'm saying sometimes you just have to be just lovingly stern with them. Have them to remember who they are. No matter what anybody said or did, no, I don't want to let you do this. Again, you can't force it, But the best thing you can do is you can just love on your friend, even if it's stern. And sometimes when you go without them, bring them a souvenir. When you come back, perhaps tell them all about it. Because some friends are like, okay, I couldn't go, but I want to know everything that happened. Was so-and-so there? What was so-and-so wearing? I like how they dress. Da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes you're going to be like, I'd rather not hear about it because it makes me sad that I couldn't go. And again, friendships go both ways. And in those circumstances, be understanding and, be like, you know what? I get it. We don't have to talk about it. So that is all, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to share that with you because you know what? You were all given the light you were given for a reason. You guys were given your gifts and your talents and your personalities and your intelligence and just everything that you were given inside of you and your essence. It's there for a reason. We all have a purpose in this life. You have a purpose or purposes, and as a Christian, I'm going to say God has a will for all of our lives. So we shouldn't allow anybody to cause us to dim those lights and hide who we are and not enjoy our blessings in our lives just because somebody feels triggered by who you are or what you have. That's not healthy to do. Of course, be humble. Don't rub things in people's faces. But there are moments where, look, it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to showcase your gifts and your talents. It's okay. Absolutely, you should be walking in your purposes. And if there's anybody in your life who feels threatened by you, who feels jealous of you and envious of you, and they're taking those things out on you, and they're trying to manipulate you and sabotage you and block you, I'm just going to say it straight out. They need to go. They need to go. So that's all I had to say. That's all I wanted to say, you guys. It's just been on me for a long time to share this with you. So yeah, that's it. Okay, you also, and I sincerely apologize if my stomach was growling. I need to find another place to put this mic because it's like right here in belly range. So I definitely felt it. So if you heard it, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am hungry. So yeah, that's another reason why I need to wrap this up. And by the way, thank you all to all the new subscribers. And for those of you who have been supporting this channel, I sincerely appreciate you. And this is a variety channel, so subscribe for more. Again, thank you so very much. And until next time, do all things in love and gracefully. Ooh, just pop my knee. Bye.